Hey, what's up, everyone? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and I want to thank you guys for joining in for another edition of the Pocket Change Market Report, this time for October 2nd, 2020, the first one of the new month. In this video, if you've never been here before, we talk about the biggest, brightest, and best coins that sold on eBay that people have looked for in change, coin roll hunting. Maybe that person cherry picked it from a coin shop. You never know where a lot of these coins come from, but the biggest takeaway from this video are that these are coins that were never graded. Okay, you don't have to authenticate them. People literally take their finds. They take a couple really good quality photos, and then they go ahead and put them up on eBay for like a 7-day auction or a buy it now listing. You know, whatever the flavor is for that particular coin. That's how it works. Again, all the coins are raw. No grading necessary. Grading sometimes can be beneficial. It can be a hindrance. All right, grading's not cheap. It's not free. So if you could get away with finding something really awesome in your change or through bankrolls, go ahead and just sell it on eBay and reap the rewards that come with the sale. So all the listings are from the last 24 to 36 hours. These are really fresh listings that we're going to talk about here, and this is probably one of my favorite PCMRs in quite a while. We're talking a very diverse group of coins on the list that I think you guys will appreciate. Something different. I mean, who doesn't like different, right? And yeah, I figured we'd just stop dilly-dallying. Let's get on with the first coin. And we're going to start it off old school. Okay, we have an 1870 Indian head cent here. That's in relatively good condition. I would say it probably is in that fine, maybe a VF20 sweet spot grade. The coin has a few of its issues, but I think that's the least important thing about the coin. The coin has plenty enough eye appeal and originality to carry it through with some sort of secondary sales action. All right, but if you haven't identified the cool variety for the 1870 Indian head cent that you've seen here, which is an obvious cherry pick and it's not graded, it's going to be this little guy right here. Now, this little die gouge or die damage that you see here is affectionately referred to as the pickaxe variety. Okay, it's a very sought-after snow variety in Indian head cents, and this one is absolutely amazing. I've personally cherry-picked a few of these. I even have a PCGS AU50 pickaxe 1870 in my collection. This one, by the way, is sold by Coins and Cards. We've actually highlighted a few of his listings on here. Absolutely phenomenal. But this right here, this pickaxe looking die gouge right here, which is really cool. You can actually still see the L in the ribbon for Longacre. This one right here sold for $87. Pretty neat find. And again, very desirable in decent shape. So there you go. Well done. All right, so the next coin that we have here is the 1972D Kennedy half dollar. All right, so I love talking about Kennedy half dollars only because that this is the ideal coin or denomination to search through to find silver. Okay, it's been like that for ages. Like even to this day, people are still doing it. Some people are having wild success finding silver. But if you come across a skunk box, is what we like to call it, where there's virtually nothing, maybe you should take a closer look at the various varieties and errors that this particular series can generate. Okay, this one right here, not a lot of people think about it, but you can find the no FG initials reverse, okay, which is simply just an over polishing of the die. There are some coins where you can see a partial initial for the designer on the reverse. This one completely missing, and this is what collectors like. This one, for example, sold for $28.65. One of about 3 different dates within the Kennedy half dollar series clad coins, not the silver, but the clad, that can exhibit the missing initials reverse. So make sure you guys be on the lookout, because this coin obviously sold for over 5 times the spot price of silver for 1 Canadian half dollar. Pretty amazing, really nice flip. Okay, so here's another one right here. This is a 2005 Philadelphia, West Virginia state quarter. Oh yes, the state quarters are a part of an era that are long forgotten. Not a lot of people really pay that much attention to these quarters anymore. I mean, it was hot during its 10-year stint. But, you know, these coins have lived on to become just a regular staple in our change. And a lot of them are pretty well worn and beat up. However, this particular coin right here, while it's worn and, you know, shows a lot of circulation, does show a really neat cud die break. So a piece of the die, when these things were being minted, had broken off. Okay, and that's just a result of wear and tear on not only the die, but also the press as well. So there you go. This is how it translates onto the coin as just a blob. Okay, and that's where the absence of a piece of the die that would normally transfer the design onto the coin is missing. So this one right here sold for $16.94. This used to be a $5 to $10 coin, but seeing as how the coin market is a little bit up there. Okay, it's definitely a burgeoning, you know, area of collecting. All coins are affected. So this one right here, $16.94, pretty good sale. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of coins that were struck through a die cap, but this is undeniably my first ever on the Pocket Change Market Report actual die cap coin. All right, this is the actual coin that was stuck to the hammer die. All right, hence the name die cap. Now, as you can see, this thing is all dished out. It looks like a little mini candy dish. It's actually pretty neat. The way the metal flow just wraps around the die, and that's pretty much why it stays stuck to that die, is that the gripping action of the metal flow that just hugs the die as it continues to hammer away at additional strikes. You know, it happens. So this is a 1981, it looks like a Philadelphia die cap Jefferson nickel. Here's what the back side of the thing looks like. So this is a much later state die cap. This thing has struck quite a few coins, okay, and then in which the actual coins that were being struck, the Jefferson nickels, exhibits a completely blank side. All right, so those are the struck through a die cap. Here's the die cap right here. This one sold for a best offer just somewhere south of $802.98. So the original listing was $7.99.99. Someone accepted a best offer, or the seller accepted a best offer, probably $500–600 for this coin. But typically you don't see these ungraded, so this is quite a nice treat. The viability of actually finding one of these and change is not entirely possible. You know, just based off of what it looks like. But you know, normally stuff like this will come out mid bags. All right. So there you go. Pretty neat find for the first time ever on the PCMR. All right, so we got another cud die break, this time on a 1940S Lincoln wheat cent. This one, as you can see, is on the base of the bust of Lincoln right here. There are earlier die states of this that just shows a retained die crack, and not the entire piece of the die hadn't fallen out yet. Those are pretty neat. I have a few of those. I also have one of these that actually show the full featured cud. But this one right here is pretty neat. Condition issues aside, this is a coin that you should be on the lookout for. A lot of people would normally overlook these sort of things as being either damaged or, you know, just something just super irrelevant in the grand scheme of coins and money. This one right here is sold for $17.49. Solid sale. All right, so I'm a sucker for really nice off-center coins. We got another one right here. It's a 2000 Philadelphia Lincoln Memorial. Unfortunately, it's not a wide AM because that would just be too special. This one right here is off-center by about 10%. All right, so it's it's solid, for what it is. It's in decent shape. It does have some carbon spotting on the obverse and some on the reverse as well. This one brought home $11.50. All right, so off-center error coinage has always been one of the most popular subtypes of coin collecting, and it'll continue to just take off. All right, so there you go, pretty cool. All right, 2 weeks in a row, I have had the pleasure of talking about a raw, ungraded 1972 Lincoln Memorial cent that features the FS101 double-to-die obverse. Now, you don't need close-ups to actually know what you have. This is actually one of what I like to call a seeing eye double-to-die, where you could literally look and see the doubling without the aid of a magnifier. Now, I always tell people, grab a magnifier. BlueRidgeSilverhound has some available in his Amazon links below the video, so just go ahead and open that puppy up if you need one. They're very inexpensive, under $10. But anyways, not to detract from my own personal sale opportunity. This coin right here is commensurate with what you would find in change. All right, it's not perfect. It's not BU as we'd like to see it, like a mid-state 65 or 66. However, it's just a very strong representative example that might have some questionable coloring on the obverse, but really cool coin. These still can be found out there. This sale tagged in at $230.49. Well done. That's a nice little hit right there. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for these double dies in 1972. All right, coming up next, the very coin that captivated the attention of a lot of collectors, because for the very first time in its duration of the Lincoln Memorial or Lincoln Cent series, all the way back from 1909, this is the first year that an actual physical Philadelphia mint mark was placed on a Lincoln Cent. Here you go, 2017. What's so special about it? Well, first of all, it's the 225th anniversary year of the Philadelphia Mint. That's why they put the P Mint mark on here. But if you take a close look at these coins, outside of the fact that it has a physical P Mint mark, really cool what they call like a spike die crack that goes from the rim and into the bust right there. Pretty cool. All right, so how much does something like this sell for? Well, this particular example brought home $5.50. Not bad. That's 550 times face value. It's just crazy to think about, but sure enough, you definitely keep an eye out for these. You find a few of them, stack them all together, and it's easy money, right? So this one right here, the moment I saw this, I'm like, that's strange. This is like a brand new quarter. Okay, it's a 2020 Salt River Bay National Park quarter. All right, obviously this thing is fun. This is a fun find if you're able to come across one. The obverse was struck through a copious amount of die grease, and also on the reverse. Although you do have a lot more strength in the actual devices on the reverse, which indicates that a lot of the grease was indeed on that hammer die. But this is also a Denver minted coin. Typically, we don't see these kind of errors on Denver minted anything, for that matter. But 2020 is anything but a typical year where the U.S. Mint is cranking out the production of new coins at a rapid and alarmingly high rate to help offset whatever coin shortage we may have. And because of that, they have thrown quality control out the window, okay? And then herein lies the byproduct. You have something stunningly visual. To some people, it may not look like anything, but this is a really significant coin for the times. This one sold for $16.94, which, in my honest opinion, feels like it should have sold for more, all right? Probably maybe $25, $30. So I don't know. I believe this was a buy it now listing, so they didn't really go crazy with what they were asking for on it. All right, so we have the same narrative on this one. The candy half dollar that you see here, which by the way is a 1995. I don't know what the mid mark is. I believe it's a Philadelphia based off of my notes. But right here, we also have another coin that was struck through a ton of grease on the obverse. And then you have little weak areas on the reverse here, but that obverse, man, it's missing a lot of the detail. And yeah, it's a very cool looking error to find. This one right here sold for $57.57. Believe it or not, it's sold for that kind of money. And, it's typical for extreme struck through grease type stuff like this. It's pretty cool. I like it. Okay, so we have a very fashionable, very nice looking 1964 D Lincoln Memorial. All right, so it's a very nice, pleasing example. I would say, you know what, if you're looking for a coin to just put in an album that's really nice, this is probably one of those coins. But you want to make sure, if you're a variety guru like myself, you want to make sure you look close for the RPMs. This one is a D over D, where the primary D is, or actually the secondary D is west of the primary D mint mark. It's very subtle. Again, this is one of those varieties you need a good magnifier to even see. But RPMs can just reveal themselves all across the 50s and 60s Lincoln cents. This is a really good one right here. This one is RPM number 2. This one sold for $6. Not too bad. Okay, so this one right here is courtesy of South Park Coins on eBay. And yeah, this guy takes pretty good quality photos. I actually like the kind of like the woven burlap look on the back there. But what have I always told you guys about bicentennial quarters, half dollars, and Ikes? Is that if you could find one with a significant error, they are super desirable in the marketplace. This one is off center about 10 to 15%. Okay, so it's very, very stunning. Features what I would say very nice surfaces. Okay, and it's incredible. Now, I said it was off-center. It does look off-center, but you have almost a full rim, which indicates that this is probably more of an uncentered broad strike. Okay, and that's what it is. But again, it's on a bicentennial drummer boy. And that's what makes it cool, and that's why people love it. This one right here sold for $77.95. Call it for what it is, but this is just a really cool error. So I always throw down one kind of like beware type of listing, and it's got to be this one. Now, it's a bicentennial, all right, hot off the heels of the previous coin we looked at. This one's a Denver. This one was being sold as a double-clipped coin. Now, it could be legit, but I want you guys to keep in mind a few things. With coins like this, all right, where you have two clips and they're exactly opposite from each other on the other side of the coin, you usually want to see something called the Blakesley effect, where normally where you'd have a clip, on the opposite side of that clip, you'll have flatness on the rim. Now, because this one has two clips that are exactly directly opposite from each other, okay, that could pose a little bit of an issue. Now, looking at the reverse, the area where there's clip action right here is also a little bit chewed up. Now, this might be a legit clip, or it could be a fabricated one, all right, because of how chewed up this is. It really, someone could sit there with a round file to make this happen. I don't know, all right, but this one right here has a lot of what I consider to be kind of like, bullseye, kind of like red flag type stuff. So make sure you really just hone in on what these type of errors look like. This one right here sold for $30.20. Now, granted, you could always return a coin if you're feeling icky about it. These are always best seen in hand, mind you, especially if the pictures are less than stellar, which I would say these are just okay. But the reverse is a little bit too dark for my tastes. So there you go. That's my Beware of the Week listing. Now, this one's cool. I don't really talk about Ike dollars on the Pocket Change Market Report all that often because you just don't see these circulating that much. However, this one exhibits a pretty strong misaligned die. As you can see on the obverse of the coin right here, you have a really considerable amount of thickness on one side of the coin, where the back of the coin is completely struck centered. So the hammer die is either just a little bit off, it's not calibrated correctly, or it's a little loose, and that's what normally creates the misaligned die action. This one right here, very cool coin, sold for $24.90. I feel like that's a bargain for something like this. You just don't see this level of errors on Ike dollars. So this is a really fantastic looking coin. All right, so this one's really neat. I was probably staring at this for about a good 10 minutes just to kind of like soak it all in. Okay, so it's a Jefferson nickel that's struck off-center, but the off-center part of it is also double struck. As you can see two O's in Monticello or Monticello. You can see two Americas. This is a fantastic error. Okay, and not one that comes across, at all. Really, your big error guys in the business, like Sullivan and a few of the other guys would want something like this. This is a really cool coin. On the obverse, it even has a full date, 1972D. It's a uniface, so you have this indent right here where the secondary strike is. Just this thing has all the good stuff happening with it. So how much did this one sell for? $149.99. Yeah, that's worth every penny. Figuratively and literally. This is a really cool coin. Okay, so what's so special about the brand new Lincoln Cents? Okay, the new Shields. Okay, this is a 2019, so we're about a year removed. But this has always been like a very special date because of all the cool errors, die cracks that you come across. But if you haven't seen it already, yeah, that crack that goes from the rim to the date with little gobs of die chips in there is just special. This is a really cool coin that only shows up on Philadelphia struck examples. This one right here is sold for $11.50. That's a solid sale for something like this. All right, I keep telling you guys, now the picture quality isn't fantastic. It's a little choppy, but man, scope out some of those early silvers. If you're a silver hoarder like I am, man, do not overlook these coins. This is a 1934 Philadelphia Washington quarter. Very common in scrap silver lots. It's a very common date. However, it's a very nice, very desirable double die. Just look at the offset. Doubling on "In God We Trust." The motto is just super strong, and it's hard to miss. So this one right here is definitely a very cool coin, very desirable coin in the variety sector of collecting. Sold for $71.99. Even in this condition, it's worth a lot of money. Way more than just the actual silver price of the coin itself. Excuse me. I'm all choked up. Because this New Jersey state quarter, even though the misaligned die action is just very light, but it's thick enough to really, actually this is an off-center coin. I'm not going to lie. It's off-center by a little bit, or actually no. It's an uncentered broad strike because you have a full rim all the way around. You don't have a deviation or cutoff of some of the design devices. So this is an uncentered broad struck. 1999 New Jersey state quarter. This one right here sold for $24. Pretty solid. I mean, it's a really nice shape, and yeah, these pop up when you least expect it. Especially in this condition, this was probably caught pretty early. All right, so we got another off-center coin. This one is a Jefferson nickel, a 1989 Philadelphia. This one is off-center by about 55-60%. But the reason why that this is relevant to the pocket change marker report is, you have the full date. That's what people want. Full date with a mint mark. That enhances the collectability and desirability of a coin tenfold. People are less likely to, opt for a Jefferson nickel off-center struck coin without a date. People love the date. It helps them identify the period of time in which this was produced. This one right here sold for $30.35. which is really good. That's a good amount of money for a coin like this. And it seems to be on par with the rest of the field. All right, check your early silvers, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a 1964 D Roosevelt dime. I mean, it's 90%. It's worth about $2.50 as it sits. But with this clip here, wow, pretty fantastic. The Blakesley effect, you can see the flattening right here of this rim, which is what you want to look for on both sides. So there's a clip on the reverse there. This one sold for $18.95, which is about nearly 7 times silver melt value for such a coin. All right, so we looked at the die cap earlier in the broadcast. Now here's a coin that was struck through a die cap. This is a 1982 copper bronze alloy large date Philadelphia Lincoln Memorial cent that was struck through a obverse die cap. Pretty cool coin. This is what it would look like at the earliest stages, where you could still have some of the, actually a later stage where you, well, the later stage you would be missing a lot of this stuff. But this is really cool. This is a cool coin to come across. Obviously, it's circulated quite a bit before it was ever found. This one right here sold for $38.50, best offer option. Great coin. If you see a coin with a lot of weakness on one side, more than likely you'll have a struck through die cap type coin. So I usually talk about 4 or 5 pieces of paper money or currency. I only have one on here, but this one is super relevant because I keep telling folks, if you can't come across coins, go ahead and search through dollar bills. And then you'll come across something like this. This is a brand new 2013 series $1 Federal Reserve note. Okay, just look at the serial number. It speaks volumes. Okay, this is a low serial fancy. All right, anything with 4 leading zeros and up, all right, is special. Okay, so this is just serial number 232. This one sold for $59.95, which just goes to show you there's a lot of value in paper money, especially with fancy serial numbers, birth date notes. You know, people do make a living doing that sort of thing, just searching through a lot of dollar bills. All right, similar to the Lincoln cent, we have a Jefferson nickel. I believe it's a 1993 Jefferson that was struck through an obverse die cap, as you can see. Lots of weakness on that obverse of the coin. You know, it's a good-looking coin. I mean, the steps look great on there, in spite of everything else going on here. But this one right here is sold for $51.99, best offer option. Great looking coin. Again, this is another error that will pop up when you least expect it, so make sure you keep an eye out for these. All right, so we have a 1961D Jefferson nickel. As you can see on the reverse, it's got a lamination that had fallen out at one point. You know, these right here, some people would mistake these as damage, but to the folks that are well-versed at knowing exactly what a strike-through or a lamination is, this is a great coin to just find out in circulation. And when you do, congratulations, because you have a coin that is worth every bit more than 5 cents. Okay, so how much did it sell for? This one sold for $19.95. Turning 5 cents into a $20 bill doesn't have to be a magic trick, folks. Just go ahead and look at your coins, and you can find something like this. Outstanding. Same with this one. Someone will, you know, about 99.9% of the general public will look at this coin and are like, man, that thing took a hit. That thing is damaged. However, what we're failing to realize, when a coin takes a hit, you're going to see it on the non-affected side. All right, so this strike through right here, this deep strike through, would show up as a dent here on this side, especially this one, this impacted. This one has nothing on the obverse. I mean, the obverse is just really clean. So there was a piece of debris that had fallen onto the planchet before it was struck, and it didn't retain. It fell out, whatever it was. But this is the end result. This 1967 with a huge strike through on the reverse. It's just really phenomenal. Oh my God, this thing is crazy. This one right here sold for $34.40. That's pretty crazy. But the next coin is just going to literally blow you away. So there's a lot of things happening here. On this 1999 Lincoln Memorial cent. So first of all, you'll notice that it is broad struck because the coin is a lot bigger than what it should look like. But the coin was already struck to begin with. So this is in turn a double struck, broad struck Lincoln Memorial. You can even see the secondary strike or the primary strike before it was restruck again is 180 degrees upside down. You can even see Liberty right here among a few other things. This coin is absolutely bonkers. I've never personally talked about something like this with a double struck, broad strike combo. They are a white whale in the error coin collecting community. So this is a great way to close out the PCMR for this week. This one sold for $151. Now I'm having a hard time deciding if whether or not this was an incredible bargain or if this is truly the market for a coin like this. I don't know. I feel like this is a coin that if you were to get it graded, that it should sell in the secondary market for like $1,000, $1,500. I don't know. That's just me because of how unique this particular error pairing is on this coin. But, you know, the coin obviously has seen some sort of circulation. It's undeniable that has happened. But, wow, what a great statement piece to an error collection. But that's it, guys. Your Friday edition of the Pocket Change Market Report. Hopefully you have a few takeaways. You're stimulated into going to the bank and picking up some rolls to look for anything, minor, major. You don't have to, just have your heart set on one thing specific. There's a whole world of different coins out there for you to look for and make money off of. That's cool. That's the important thing. And you don't have to grade them. That's equally important. Why spend the extra money, the $30 per coin, to go ahead and send this out to PCGS? You don't need to do that here. So, as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for instant notifications. I'm your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. It was certainly a pleasure. I want to thank you guys for watching yet again. The second or third time I've said that. But I will see you guys next time on the next video. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the hunt.